Good morning everyone. In case you're wondering, I am not getting on the train and I have not been on one today. I just thought this would be a good place to mark the start of my journey today. In case you don't know, it is currently 7... Let's see what that clock says. I'm getting closer. You can't really tell, but it looks like about 7:37 in the morning. And I am walking to Brighton today. Why? Why not? Getting a good way to start the year. It's New Year's Day as well, I should point out right now, even though you won't be seeing this for about a week or so. It'll probably be a week after Eve when you get to see it, because I've got 1 or 2 other videos to go on as well. But yeah, it's 7:30, it's almost 7:40 in the morning. I'm walking to Brighton. This is Lancing train station and the closest thing you get to a town centre around here. Though if I'm being honest, it's mostly vape shops and charity shops along here. But look at that sky, that's nice, isn't it? In case you're wondering, what was I saying? Oh yes, in case you're wondering, it really is me. I'll do a quick reverse. See? It's me. I'm going to take it slow because I'm walking down some steps and it's a bit icy at the moment. Which was partially the reason I decided to walk. Well, when I say the asked me you want to walk, what I meant was normally I go jogging in the mornings. But the amount of ice I saw last night when I went to bed told me to not do that. So I decided I'd walk today instead. I think it's a good start to the year, in my opinion. Plus it allows me to get some steps in. Because you're supposed to do about 10,000 every day. And I decided that, because it's not always possible to do 2,000 every day, if you are across the road, I decided I would do 10,000 a day on average. So if it's a 30-day month, I plan to get 300,000. And today's walk will probably give me about at least 25,000 minimum I should get in today. And bear in mind, the steps that get counted, these ones don't get counted right now because the phone's not in my pocket, I should point out. My steps are counted via phone, but only when it's in my pocket. So when I'm recording like this, it doesn't actually record steps, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to do more than enough anyway. And there should be at least 25,000 by the time I get to Brighton today, which is at least 2.5 days worth. I mean, my morning jogs do about 5,000, which is half of my quota already. I think it's a good thing. Hopefully you can hear me over those noisy birds. That's it really for now, I think. There's not much to see around this, apart from parked cars, ice, and street lights. Actually, it does help if you can actually look at me. So I'm going to turn this around for now. As you know, I'm still in Lancing. It's a fairly big place. Look, see, there's the train station. That there is that bridge. If I point there, see, that's where I was when this vlog first started, or this video first started, I should say. And now I'm walking. As you can tell, it's pretty icy out. I thought it'd be icier than this. So I went to bed last night about 10 o'clock. I looked out and there was thick ice everywhere. And that is, as I said, that's what made me not want to go jogging. See, this is how bad it is. See, that one's alright. Maybe being under the bridge helps with that. It's hard to tell. See, I'm underneath a big road here. You've got train tracks just the other side of that big wall. It's not as cold as I thought it would be this morning either, I must admit. Proven to be a really nice day. And yes, I do know the old saying of red sky in the morning, shepherd's warning and all that other stuff, but it looks pretty nice. I'm choosing to be optimistic. And if anything, the rest of the sky is rather beautiful, I think, this time of morning. See? Ice. So much ice. Alright. I'm running out of things to say, so I'm going to stop this for now. You'll see me later. Just in case you're wondering, there's a sale on at Leanie's. They're not paying me for this, so I just thought I'd let you all know. Not that you can go anywhere because it's shut. And as you can tell, it's also considerably lighter. It's not much in the way of actual people yet. I mean, I've seen the odd car, but not many. Normally, this time of day, on a regular weekday, there'd be traffic as far as the eye can see in both directions. But today, all you're seeing is the odd car coming down. I'm hoping to get onto the... I know there is eventually a bit that gets you onto the beach walk. If you ever saw my wide water video, you'd remember that. It'll be just like that, only slightly bleaker, you know, because of the weather and time of day and all. Now, fun fact, I'll share you all in. I'll let you all in on a little secret here. The reason I mentioned the BBC in that video, or in the title and the tags, is because I thought it might attract a few commenters. I thought even if I do get a few idiots being like, BBC, more like Nonce Protection Network or something stupid like that, although technically it's not wrong if you actually know the history of the BBC, I thought, you know, to add a few comments and attract a few bots and it'll be good. That's an ambulance. Hopefully it's a false alarm and the person involved is actually okay. But yes, to go back to what I was saying, I thought the comments I thought it might attract a few bots or a few nutters and they'd leave stupid comments, and I thought it might just drive up engagement and it could become my most popular video, although it isn't. I forget what my most popular video is. I think it's the improvised talk about my depression I'd done, and I think it might literally be called an improvised talk about my depression. I think I'll put there'd be a thumbnail with the title for the video, what it is right now, just in case I'm wrong or right. Either way, there'll be confirmation. Now, I've got to admit, this pathway to this little bridge that takes you onto the coast is actually a bit further away than what I thought it was. It's actually by those shots which you don't think you might not be able to see because the camera is not as good as my eyes. And yes, I'm aware how weird that sounds. It's a nice morning. It's not as cold as I thought it was going to be, I will admit that. It really isn't. That's it for now, I'm afraid. James out for a bit. Okay. This is wide water, as I mentioned previously in this video, and I made a video about before. It looks slightly different to what it did before, which I think is nice. This place looks a lot better when there's actual water. But there's the shops I was on about earlier and the road I was walking on. And this, as I said, is the coast, as I called it. And it is because the beach is just that way. Now hopefully this wind will not get worse because it makes talking very hard. So I think I mentioned the debacle while I went to make a New Year's Eve video before I made the previous one, that is, or New Year's Day video. So I uploaded a reading video on New Year's Eve, and it was so windy you couldn't even hear me talk. I couldn't even, you know, do the effects that gets the wind noise down and makes talking clearer, but that didn't even work then either. And I said I was going to dub it over with a New Year's Day message, but I never did. I mean, I still have the video, and one day I will probably dub something over it for one of my improvised talks, probably. This was nice, and you got to see some nice things. Anyway, while I'm here, I'll show you the beach, just to prove to you that I am actually at the beach at the moment, or the coast as I called it. Although really, both are the same really. Just in case you want to come to wide water, You have to pay if you want to park on this bit. Nice sized car park there. But if you're local, I would suggest walking there. Here it is. I'm sure you if you did see that video, I'm sure you remember this bit. While I'm here, I shall show you the beach. You can tell it's just like the beach at Worthing. All stones. You can tell that's Worthing in the background there. And that way is Brighton. And that is the ocean. I think that's enough of that there for now, because today's video is not about the ocean, it's about me going to Brighton. And should really get a move on, because I'm probably about a quarter of the way through this walk, I think. Actually, less than that, maybe a fifth. And this is the easy bit. Now coming up here is, on the left you have a public bathroom. And on the right you have a place that sells ice creams and other beach related foods. You think you can get like burgers if you want something like that, you can get chips and there's crisps and drinks, all that sort of stuff. At the moment it'll be closed. Not just because it's 8 o'clock in the morning, but also because it's winter. That place usually shuts in autumn and doesn't really open until spring. So, which is a shame, because I've been up here a few times after summer and I thought I fancied something, but it's never open. Sorry about here, I just had this urge to check a shoelace. The OCD is coming back to get this urge to constantly check, because one time you remembered that one time your shoelaces came undone. Now you're paranoid. It's a funny thing really, OCD. I'm doing better with it though. I'm doing better. Also, on the subject of OCD, if you haven't done already, why not go over to Travis's channel and show him some love. He makes some good videos on OCD, much better than anything I did. And yes, I'm aware I really shouldn't be saying his content's better than mine, but it's true. So if you have time, show him some love. Well, I say show him some love, I mean watch his videos, leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe at the same time. It doesn't take long. Anyway, I love how these all painted different colours now. See, there was a time when I was sort of younger when you would have only seen white ones. I mean, even this one here, number 48 with its little grey bit, or blue I should say, it's hard to tell with this light, but I can see it's blue. They would have been told you can't do that, it's got to be all white. And of course they all had to look exactly the same as all the others. No room for individuality. But nowadays you can, which I think is great. Then again, I think if you pay for something like a beach hut, you should be able to paint it whatever colour you like. Or even put whatever you want on it, as long as it's not, you know, offensive. Yes, I'm aware offensive is a big wide term, but I'm sure there's a line to be drawn somewhere. Not that it really matters, because I'll never own a beach hut. And by the looks of it, you can pretty much do what you want from now anyway. Right, I have things to do, so James out for now. Now this is something I want to show you. As you can tell, this is the Church of the Good Shepherd. I've never been inside. Every time I've walked past this one, with the intention of going inside and have a look, it's either been told there's been some event going on, which I don't really fancy interrupting. Now, it fascinates me, because if you have a look, I'll show you the walls, you can probably see it, but I'll show you a close look. They've literally just made a layer of the concrete pug stuff, whatever this stuff is. So let's just put little stones in to add a pattern. Now this is a style you often see in British seaside communities. You really rarely see them when you go off inland, away from the coast. But this is something you see around it, and fascinates me in a way. But at the same time, I find it so bleak and ugly, this style. But at the same time, I kind of respect it, because it's like they said, yeah, we could have same plane, but let's just put a load of stones on it. Add a bit of style. I mean, there's probably some practical reason they do that, not just leave it as one, you know, straight wall, like say that house there. In case you're wondering, there's Jesus, looking nothing like Ewan McGregor today. That's a memorial to those who died in World War One and World War Two. I'll let you pay your respects in your own time. But to go back to where I was, this is a style I do find absolutely fascinating. It's so bleak, yet so fascinating at the same time. I very much doubt the church is open right now. Actually, I suppose I could try and have a look. Sure, they won't mind. It's 8 in the morning. It is open, but I very much doubt it. Let's find out. It is. Always want to have a look inside. It's actually open. The windows look a lot better inside than they do from the outside. It's actually quite impressive. For being so bleak on the outside, it's quite nice inside. In case you're wondering, it is still New Year's Day, hence the Christmas stuff being out. Oh, that's neat, look. It's all woolen. I like that, that's pretty cool. Oh, there's always some who ruin it for the others, isn't there? That's neat. Is it there? Okay, let's have a look. Cushions. Not the usual hand knitted ones with a pattern on, but let's test it all the same. So I can relax. Bit hard, the cushion. I've heard the others, not the best. I should really start scoring these. Actually, I will. I'll start today. Cushions in the Church of the Good Shepherd of Shoreham, 6 out of 10. Not very comfy, a bit hard. Actually, I'll give it a 5 because it doesn't have a nice pattern on it like the others usually do. And that, people, is the church. Don't think it'll be open, but nice that it is. In case you're wondering, I don't actually know what denomination this is. Could be any of them. But due to the lack of a Virgin Mary, I'm going to guess it's not Catholic. Right, let's get back to Brighton. I'll walk, shall we? But that was a nice surprise. Didn't think I'd ever get to look inside that one. Okay, there's the vicarage. That's probably why it's open, because they live right there. I'll show you that. See? Just about make out the word. Vicarage. In case you're wondering, that means the local vicar lives there. Right, back to the walk. There's not much else I can really say about the church. But I'm currently, as I said, in Shoreham almost called it Shoreham by Sea, which is not the name. Shoreham by Sea is just the name of the station. It's also getting windy, so I think I may stop this way because there's not much to look at for a bit. Just houses. And you know, the sun going up a bit more and more. So for now, James is out. Now this is the Ada ferry bridge. It takes you across the River Ada into the main part of Shoreham. Because once you're here, this little bit of land I'm on now, it kind of juts out into like a little peninsula. So they probably don't call it a peninsula, it's not considered one, but it serves the same purpose. It's just a bit of land that juts out. So I've got to cross here. Luckily there's a bridge here because it makes it considerably easier. And my trip to Brighton, my journey to Brighton has to continue on the mainland. There's also going to be not much beach footage to look at for a while, but I can live with that. It's all part of the general scenery. Jogger coming. See? Now as you can tell, I'll show you. The England Coast Path, the Living Coast. It's coastal paths. Basically mean that people can walk from place to place all along the south coast without having to, you know, stop. See, Shoreham footbridge. When it says next schedule round, it means when it just lifts up and lets boats through, kind of like Tower Bridge does. I'm not actually sure what the time is. I know it's must be about 8:30 now, 9 o'clock even. Don't actually know. I should really look at the time, but I haven't got around to it yet. Or when I do look, I don't really remember it. But anyway, it's not as early as it looks now. It's just that, as a reminder, this is New Year's Eve. Or New Year's Day, I should say. So most people are probably hungover. And most of the people out probably just going to their jobs. And you can see this is an up and coming area, judging by those new builds you can see over there. Now 20 years ago they were not there. You had a few old warehouse units, tatty old rusty old warehouses, and it was considered not a very nice place to live. But eventually they are getting rid of all the units and replacing them with flats like this. And I know it's because I have a friend, well, I used to know someone who used to live in those houses right there. And they told me, when they bought it, this agent said that in 20 years time, he said, all those old dusty old, tatty old units will be replaced with modern luxury flats. And that prophecy seems to be coming true. It wasn't just the estate agent talking rubbish. That building is new as well. Can't remember what it used to look like, but if you look on Google Street View, you could probably see. Now, if you probably haven't guessed, this coming up here is Shoreham Town Centre. Got a bit that goes along the A259, as you can see in the direction I'm looking at. You've got a bit that goes down there too. I haven't been really looked around Shoreham much, so I don't really know if it's good for visitors or not, but it's a nice enough place. So if you are in the area, why not drop by, show Shoreham some love. Now, this is officially where my beach walk finishes for a bit. From here on, it's all suburban. I mean, you'll see, it'll be mostly houses, cars and units. Now, there's not much else to really show you around here because this is it. But before I show you anyway. But Where was I? Oh yes. That is the direction I'm heading in. That way. As you can tell, I've got to cross the road. Now, because I'm a good citizen, even though there is no traffic either way, I'm going to do this the correct way. Should point out that in this country, jaywalking is not illegal. It's perfectly fine to cross whenever and wherever you like. Although if you try it on a motorway, you may upset a few people, if you survive, that is. But otherwise, it's fine. Just in case anyone wants to come to this kind of things, they have to do that. They don't. That is purely a choice on my part. Oh, look how cheap that petrol is. 131. Can't believe that. This place always does cheap petrol. Always. I've no idea why or how they manage it, but they do. It's a place I always forget to fill up at as well. Yep, as you can tell, that is the yacht club. Give you an idea of just how fancy an area this actually is around there. She got all down. I mean, it's got nothing on Brighton Marina as such for poshness, but it's something. Traffic's getting a bit more frequent now, as you can probably guess. Oh, nice purple decor there. And what is another dull grey house. Just in case you want some acupuncture. I should really get paid to do those, not just do them as I randomly walk past them. Now, I think I may stop this for now because there's not much to say or to look at. So, for now, James out. As you can see, there's a Halfords and a McDonald's and a fancy place. Also, a disused advertising board. But that isn't what I'm here to show you. Although look, there's a B&Q, and if you go further up, there is a Lidl as well. I want to show you these. Look, how cool are these? And I'll show you from the side, it looks better from the side. Look, how cool is that? They've always had these creatures out here. I'm not sure if they're lobsters, prawns, or what. I don't really know what they're supposed to be, but I think they're pretty cool. They've always had these out here. I doubt these are the same ones I remember from a child, but I always remember them having something jolly outside like this. It just brings back nice memories. Childhood. I doubt it's open. I'm not that I want to buy any fish at the moment anyway. In case you're wondering, it is now gone 9 o'clock. I checked the time a while ago. Walking along the A259 and slowly making my way to Brighton still. Still not a lost route, I'll be honest with you. The day got a bit closer to, you know, afternoon. I thought there'd be more people. I really did. But you know what? Doesn't matter. I kind of like the isolation of being almost on my own like this because it helps with the illusion that it's a lot earlier than what it is. Although that does ruin the illusion somewhat. Just a disclaimer, don't actually look at the sun like that, okay? I'm doing it with my camera, okay, which can't actually catch the full brightness of the sun. But in real life, don't do that, okay? It's a good way to bug up your eyes. Ooh, 2 trolleys left there. Now these units, as I was saying earlier, will supposedly all become luxury flats in the end, which sounds about right. I mean, the land's not being used so much else, you might as well put people there. I mean, I dread to think what it will do for traffic, but that really can't be helped, unfortunately, until someone decides or finds an easier way to get people to drive less. I'm sure there's a solution. Now there is Shoreham Tip. It's a place where you take your rubbish. And most of it gets recycled. So I think it's pretty neat. Obviously today it's not going to be open, being New Year's Day and all. Now, I do believe it'll be probably about the 10th of January by the time you actually see this video. So I've got another video coming up as well. Because if you've been watching my reading videos up until now, you know that I'm doing a book, You Are Awesome. And the book told me, or told everyone, to make a worry jar. Write about things you worry about, put them in a jar. Now, I'm not actually going to make the jar. But this I was going to write down some worries and share them with you all. And you'll be seeing that video before you see this one. But if you watch my videos regularly, then you'll know this already. So by that calculation, you'll be seeing this on the 10th of January. Which is not a bad thing. Ah, see? There's Lidl's, just like I said was there. Right. I think that's it for now. I'll talk later. Bye for now. Now you're currently looking at Shoreham Lighthouse. I have no idea how active it is. It doesn't look, the windows don't look very clean, so you may not get a light from here now. I have no idea. There is the local headquarters for the Royal National Lifeboat Institute. In case you're curious, they rescue people who have trouble at sea. And that is a sauna, or sauna if you're English. Now, fun story, you can't actually see it now, but actually there's a few people actually see that bloke there. He's probably going to go swimming in a minute. I won't watch him because, you know, don't like him for any privacy. I caught people coming out the water here. Now, I'm not sure what the temperature is, but it's probably near zero because there's ice. Although in the sun probably not, but I doubt it's a whole lot warmer. And I think, good on them, I say. Not saying I'd do myself, but they do. Actually, if you are one of those people who loves swimming in cold oceans like this, then let me know what you like about it. I'll be curious to learn. But that isn't why I turn this camera on. I want to show you my lunch. I can get out. Now, you're not going to see me eat it, but I thought I'd show it to you. Now, this was a pork pie. A Melton Mowbray pork pie to be precise. That means it was made either in Melton Mowbray or in the surrounding area. Otherwise it's just a pork pie. Now you can tell it's got pastry, pork and local herbs and spices. I'm not sure which ones. I'll put some on the screen now so you can tell. Just wanted to show that off. Normally you eat this with a condiment like mustard, piccalilli, or my personal favourite, onion relish or onion chutney. But as I'm travelling, I'm going au naturel with it. This, by the way, is called Kingston Beach, this area. There's not much else to say. Plus I'm hungry, so I'm going to eat. So Jane's out for now. That there, as you can read, is West Sussex, the county I came from, which was over there. I, however, am going this way. If you look over there, actually, road's clear, I can cross. You can see that we are now coming up to Brighton and Hove. In case you're wondering, James, that's where you're going, is it, Brighton? Yes, but not this bit of Brighton. Brighton's fairly big, I should point out. Or the city of Brighton Hove is fairly big, because that's its full name. So it just used to be Brighton, but then Brighton and Hove became one. So it became Brighton and Hove. But I've still got a long, long way to go yet. But I'm making progress, which is the main thing. This part is called Port Slade, I believe, this part of Brighton. Much like Worthing, it's taken up many different little places who still kind of retain their own identity as such, but it's all Brighton and Hove. But this part, there's not really a lot here. That is probably the most interesting part. The port. Although technically it's called Shoreham Port, but I would have said this was more Port Slade. The Port Slade port does seem a bit more accurate. Then again, the official name is probably Brighton Port these days, because Shoreham Airport is now called Brighton Airport, so I suppose that's probably it too. I should really look it up. Actually, what I'll do is, when I get home I'll look it up, and during the editing process I'll leave a little factoid here so that you know exactly what it's called. Slowly getting there, one step at a time. And you know what? I've enjoyed this walk so far. And you know what? I have not once listened to my headphones. They're in my pocket, but I haven't used them yet. So I think it's pretty cool. Because it's a statement. It means that my mental health is getting immensely better. Because as soon as I'm on my own, I'm not rushing for some comfort in sound, you know? My mind is my company, you know? It's doing okay. No idea what those plants are, but kind of looks like cotton. One of it's like some distant ancestor. Oh wait, let's have a look. There's a temple down there, if that's your belief. That road sign is definitely new. If you have a look over there, you can see that is Shoreham Harbour. Probably called Brighton Harbour by now. But doesn't really matter. So get this proper. Right. Let's hope these lights, they don't really work, so I'm going to have to take a chance, I think, and cross when I can. Don't really like doing it, but I'm kind of left with a little choice. Right, so they're not moving, so let's go where we can. Okay, we made it across safely, and I'll show you a bit closer. Shoreham Harbour. Carrying on, you'll see Aldrington Basin and the I-360. Good lord, this pavement is tiny here. I should not have crossed over. Oh well. Actually, it looks thicker up there, so I think I'll be okay. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, my mental health is getting better. I've not used my headphones once, so that means that I am getting better as a person. And good God, I've seen this flipping billboard everywhere. They use AI art, so don't use this. So don't go to that website if they use AI art. In case you're wondering how I can tell, I'll show you. Look. Well, them two blokes, it's almost the same. That one is not looking at me. You have a look at the sombreros. But see, that one's got red on the top. That's got jade, I think that colour is, like a bluish jade. That one's got nothing, which means that no human was really involved with the making of that art. And for the amount of money they probably make, you think they'd be willing to fork out a few quid to get an artist to do something, wouldn't you? But they don't. In case you're wondering, yes, I do not like AI. Really not a big fan of it. Especially the art part. I mean, AI was supposed to make our lives better, I was told as a kid. You know, it was like, they do jobs you don't want to do, so you can do more nicer things like art and other social pursuits. But it seems to be the other way around. Now, that rant over, let's carry on with the video. This is probably the least picturesque part of the tour, I'd say. Because there's no real beach, you just got that harbour. I mean, harbours are needed, but they're not the most beautiful things to look at, are they? But you know what? It still has a beauty all on its own. I think ports are nice things. I mean, well, as I said, they're not aesthetically pleasing, but things come in, things go out. So many stories come in and out of ports like that. Stories we'll probably never ever hear. And thinking about it just fascinates me. Really fascinates me. I may end this soon because there's not much one can really say around here. But I wanted to show you the area while I'm walking. And since you can hear my voice, you do know it's actually me here still. I suppose really I should probably show you my face. Be a bit more sociable about it all. Actually, I think I will. There you go. You can now see my face. So you know it is actually me here still. Look. See? That's where I was. That's the bit you probably saw earlier. It's not a lot else really to show you around there, unfortunately. So let's put that down so you can actually see me. It helps if I actually look at the camera too. That's it, I think. I think I'll probably leave it here, because there's not much else to look at. I mean, if you're really interested, you can go on the street view, or come here yourself. The first option will be cheaper than the second one, obviously. But as there's not much to look at here and not much to say for now, I'm going to head out. I shall return. In case you're wondering, I've made it to Hove Beach. There is an absolute ton of people here. I've gone from seeing no one to seeing a ton of people. But to be fair, it is gone 10 o'clock now, so I can't really complain. In a way, it's kind of nice. I mean, I like isolation, but sometimes it just gets a bit much, you know? You probably can't see it, but see where I'm going. I'm going full. Yes, you can. Just about to see in the centre there, Worthing. Amazing how far back you can actually see the building from. Right, I'm going to come back in now because it's a bit too much. There we go, perfect. So this is Hove Beach. Should point out in the background you can just about make out the West Pier. I'll show you that a bit. I'll give you a close up of that later. Now this isn't going to be all beach walk because there's some nice buildings to look at, like the one over there. There's quite a few like that. But I've got things to do and I've got food to finish, so James out for now. So I know I wasn't going to talk to you just yet, but I had to show you these beach lights. I mean, I thought the ones at Lance Water were nice, but look at this. Look at the paint jobs on these. How great are these? Always makes me want to say that word, those three words, you know. Look at that. But I won't. I'll refrain from saying those three words. But just had to show it to you because look, how cool is this? I mean, there was a time when all these things would have been painted white, and anyone daring to paint something a different colour would have had to have dealt with the law. Absolute madness, in my opinion. Absolute madness making them do that. But this is so cool. As you can tell, I love colourful things. I really do. Calm. Wish I had a bit more to say around here, but I don't. It's just nice. So I think I'll just leave it for a moment and just let you enjoy it. James out for now. So, as you can tell, we are no longer on the beach. There's two reasons. One, I wanted to show you some of these old buildings. Two, the sun was shining right in my eyes and it was getting a bit much. So I thought I'd walk along here. Not many people walk along this bit. Although there are plenty of locals, but not many people, visitors, actually walking along because they're still walking along the beach, which is more than understandable, I think. Considering how nice it actually is. I thought I'd show you some of these buildings because they're really nice, some of them. They tend to get forgotten about. I mean, I don't really have much information about it, I just think they're nice. It's a lot of people and vehicles. Don't know if that's old or no. Looks old. And it's just been redone up, which is nice. Now, as you can tell, that used to be a hotel. I have no idea what's going to happen to it now. Though the boards all around it does make me worry that they're going to knock it down. Really hope they don't. So it looks nice. I mean, that side doesn't match that. Well, in my opinion it should, but it's still nice. It's a shame I hope they don't knock it down. Then again, if no one stays at the hotel, what can you do? Just in case you want to know how much property is around here. That should tell you everything. Oh, this is a nice one here. See, and that was what I meant when I said the sun was in my eyes. Quite literally. But it's nice walking along here because you see stuff you don't normally see. Well, this, you see, well, you would have seen the back of it, but you wouldn't have seen the front. And the front really betrays the age of the building. Because as you know, nothing newly built looks like that now. They only keep stuff like that because they have to. So look over here. Okay, some of these flats aren't as nice as the others, but it's typical seaside architecture, I'd say. Or was for the late 1900s anyway. So I imagine most of these were built probably in the 80s or something. That's just a guess, I don't actually know. I don't. Hope no one here thinks I'm casing the jointure of it. I just think it's a nice looking building. I especially like that they actually painted it a colour when they could have just left the whole thing white or natural. Or just left the stone as it was and just let the dirt take over, as happens with some buildings. Oh yes, in case you're wondering, that thing on the right, or just right of centre I should say, there, it's the i360. Never been up there, it's very expensive. It doesn't get used much. Actually, the rest pier should be around here somewhere. I'll be able to show you that as well while I'm here. Oh dear, there's a lot of joggers around this morning. Never understood what people feel the need to jog in big public areas like this. I suppose if you live around there you don't have much of a choice, but I think some people just come here to show off their exercising. I used to when I was young, when I had my little bouts of jogging. I used to pick busy areas so people would see me exercising. Right. I'm going to leave this here because these buildings are nice, but I'm running out of things to say. I shall return when I reach the rest pier, most likely. Now I know we're not quite at the West P yet, as I said, but just wanted to show some more nice looking buildings while I could, because if I can see them, I think you should as well. Now admittedly, I know nothing about this. I know this is Hove, roughly. I know these buildings were probably built during the 1800s when the seaside boom was a thing, and that's about it. Really, I know nothing really about the history of the buildings or the architecture itself. What I do know is that these are nice looking buildings, and that if you do get the chance, come here and just have a walk. It's really nice, and I mean that, it's really nice here. Also, look how many people there are now. It's really nice. I mean, I did like the isolation I had earlier, but it's also nice to have people here. Well, sometimes it is anyway. And the sun's slightly less bright now than it was, so oh no, it's a nice day. Time wise, it's about, I think it was about 10 past 11 my phone said when I started recording this footage, or something like that anyway. And I think that's really good, time wise and all. Which means that I've been walking for almost 4 hours, which is pretty good. Now I have done this walk before. I can't remember how long it took, but I think about 4 or 5 hours was about right. I mean, I was tending to make a video back in those. This was back when I was planning to put things on my travel channel. This is before I even started my vlog, that is. But I think I made 1 or 2 little bits for it, then I never bothered. But I like this. It's nice. It's a nice day today. It's a nice start to the year, I think. It really is. But you'll be watching this on the 10th, I believe it is. Well, if that day is great, you'll see it on the YouTube page where it'll say the date it was uploaded. But speaking of which, why don't you, if you're in the comments, why not tell me how your new year is going so far? I mean, mine's less than half a day old, but so far, really good. It's going really well. And I'm really in a good mood. I'm feeling very optimistic about everything. And it's a theme which I know won't last, but I'm going to enjoy it while I can. I'm going to use the momentum of this feeling to push myself forward this year. Hello, skull. If you click there, you won't be bored. Or scan it, I should say. I won't be, though. I won't be scanning it, because you never know what those things are. You shouldn't just scan random QR codes, people. Not in my opinion, anyway. There it is, the West Pier. You can see it's getting closer and closer. Right, as you can tell, I've run out of things to say now, so I'm going to leave you here, and I shall return when I get closer to the West Pier. James out for now. So, as promised, there it is, the West Pier. Sorry, I'm on double magnifying here so you can get a closer look. There it is in no glory really, because it's a wreck of what it once was. Do believe it was destroyed in the hurricane of 87, or that was when its last death blow was anyway. I could be wrong. There'll be a little thing up on screen now if I am wrong about any of that. over there, further in the background, you can see it's the Palace Pier. That is my destination. Now, I would go on to the pier itself and make a video at the end of it, like I did when I done my Littlehampton to Worthing walk and I finished off at Worthing Pier. But they charge to go on that, so I'm not doing that. But I shall show you some of the sights around here though, because they are nice. That is fancy as hell. That is the I-360. You can tell there's nothing up there, so obviously they're hoping people will go on today. Go on, Matt. It's nice. And I'm being very optimistic today. Just kind of wish I had a bit more to say, really. But just look how nice these buildings are there. Well, some of them anyway. Some are nicer than others, obviously. Now, as you can see, that is the Palace Pier, which means I've made it. Now, I did say they charge entrance, but it doesn't look like they are saying, but I'm not really... I've got no business on the pier, as it's just an amusement arcade and a fun fair at the top. So I might leave that there. Besides, I'm quite hungry. I'm going to get some lunch, I think. And look, we're in Brighton. I'll probably record more footage. Well, if this is the end of the video, you know I haven't, but chances are I have, so... Walk done. Now let the fun begin. Now, if you have been watching, you'll recognise this place, because it's where the video started. And I'm now back here, which indicating I'm now home, or close to home anyway. I've been out about almost 8 hours. It's about 7ish when I left, I think, home. It's about 7:30 when I got here, which I think is pretty good. So I've been out almost 8 hours. It's not bad, you know. It's not bad at all. Overall, I must say I enjoyed it. As I said, I'm going to make the Brighton video, or the video looking at Brighton, a totally separate one for a whole nother day. And well, I just felt really it should be a separate video because it's so much more simple. Well, it's so much better anyway, because I walked to Brighton and then I saw a load of things. It's not quite the same. Plus, knowing I can get into another video, it gives me an excuse to go back to Brighton one day and have a proper look around. I mean, today was nice, but I was mostly knackered from my walk and, well, I say knackered, I wasn't really that knackered. I feel quite good, actually. I thought getting on that train would make me more tired, because I thought by the time I have to get up, I will inevitably not want to get back up. Or once I sat down, I should say. But I did. I'm feeling pretty good. I don't know if this means I'm fitter now than I ever have been, or whether the jogging's played a part in it. I think it may have done, you know. I'm feeling pretty good. Which means that I need to keep up the exercise. And only then will I be able to do even more. Because I did say to my dad I would walk to Bognor one day. And that was meant to be done in autumn. But I think I might leave that for spring now, when it's slightly warmer and nicer weather. And hopefully less windy on the day. That'll be an interesting video. Hopefully, anyway. Alright. As I'm home now, and there's nothing else to really see or say, I'm going to love you and leave you all. So until next time, take care of yourselves, just people. And for the last and definite time, bye.